For over 4,000 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has kept a secret, not a small one, a secret buried under 2.3 million limestone blocks, each one cut with a precision so extreme that you cannot slide a single piece of paper between them. Explorers have entered it, caliphs have blasted into it, robots have crawled through it, and every single time they found the same thing, nothing. An empty room, a lidless sarcophagus, stone walls with no inscription, no mummy, no gold. But here is the thing that no one talks about. That emptiness was never the whole story. Because in 2017, a team of scientists pointed detectors at the pyramid and watched as subatomic particles raining down from dying stars passed straight through 2.3 million blocks of solid limestone and revealed something on the other side. A hidden space the size of a 200-seat passenger airplane, completely sealed, untouched, for 4,500 years. And then, deep inside that pyramid, they found a door no human being has ever opened. To understand why this matters, you first have to understand what we thought we knew. The Great Pyramid was built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BC. It stands 138 meters tall. It is the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. And for most of recorded history, we assumed we had found everything inside it. 3 chambers, 3 passages, a grand gallery that stretches 47 meters upward through polished stone, and at the very top of it all, the king's chamber, lined entirely in red Aswan granite, its ceiling made of 9 single beams, each one weighing up to 80 tons. Inside that chamber, there is one object, a single red granite sarcophagus, without a lid, without a body, without anything. The first person to break in and find this emptiness was Caliph al-Mamun in the year 832 AD. His workers heated the stone with fire, cracked it with vinegar, and hammered through iron stakes for weeks. And when they finally reached the chamber, they found exactly what every explorer since has found: nothing. But here's the question that haunted Egyptologists for over 1,000 years. If the pyramid was built as a tomb, where's the body? In 1837, a British colonel named Howard Vyse took a more aggressive approach. He used gunpowder. He blasted upward through the ceiling above the king's chamber and found 5 hidden spaces stacked above it, one on top of another, like layers of a cake. Inside those spaces, red paint on the limestone walls, work gang graffiti, scratched there by the men who built the pyramid. It was the only physical evidence ever found inside the Great Pyramid linking it to Khufu, and it raised a question that no one could answer. If workers left their marks in the construction gaps above the king's chamber, then what is in the spaces they did not leave marks in? What is in the spaces no one was ever supposed to reach? The answer began to emerge in 1993. A German engineer named Rudolf Gantenbrink sent a small robot crawling up a narrow shaft inside the queen's chamber, just 20 centimeters wide, 65 meters long. At the end of the shaft, the robot's camera captured something that stopped Gantenbrink cold: a small limestone slab with 2 copper fittings attached to it, like handles, a door. Gantenbrink asked permission to drill through it. Egypt's authorities refused. 9 years passed. In 2002, a live global broadcast watched a second robot drill a tiny hole through the slab and push a camera through. And behind the first door was another door, just 18 centimeters further. No one knows what is behind the second one. No camera has ever seen it. And this is where the story takes a turn that changes everything. Because in 2015, something new arrived at the pyramid, something that did not need to drill or blast or tunnel. A team of international scientists launched the ScanPyramids project. Their technology was unlike anything used before. They were going to scan the pyramid using particles from outer space. Here is how it works. When stars explode at the far edge of the universe, their energy slams into Earth's atmosphere and creates a rain of subatomic particles called muons. Think of them as nature's X-rays, only far more powerful. Every single minute, 10,000 of them pass through every square meter of your body right now, through your chair, through the floor beneath you, through solid rock. Dense stone absorbs them. Empty space lets them through. By placing detectors inside the pyramid and counting which directions the muons were arriving from, researchers could build a picture of everything inside without touching a single block. And what they saw stopped them completely. In March 2016, the first results came back from the nuclear emulsion films inside the Queen's chamber. There were far too many muons arriving through one particular region. Far more than there should be. If that region was solid stone, something was letting them through, something large. The team spent over a year verifying the data, running it through multiple independent systems. 3 completely different detector technologies. 3 completely different teams. All of them found the same thing. On November 2nd, 2017, they published their findings in the journal Nature. A void, at least 30 meters long, positioned directly above the Grand Gallery, statistically confirmed to a certainty of 99.9999%, the same confidence level required to confirm the existence of the Higgs boson. Kunihiro Morishima of Nagoya University looked at the data and said something that has stayed with researchers ever since. The big void is completely sealed. Nothing has been touched since the pyramid was built. Yukinori Kawai, the Egyptologist on the team, was more direct. This is definitely the discovery of the century. Now, not everyone agreed. Egypt's most famous Egyptologist, Zahi Hawass, went to the New York Times on the day of the announcement and said, "They found nothing. This paper offers nothing to Egyptology. Zero." He insisted a void did not mean a room. A void did not mean a discovery. Egypt's Ministry of Antiquities backed him. But the data did not move, and the ScanPyramids team kept scanning. By 2019, ground-penetrating radar, ultrasound, and electrical resistivity tomography had pinpointed a second void. This one behind the massive chevron stones above the pyramid's original entrance. The evidence was building, layer by layer. And then in February 2023, a 6mm Japanese endoscope was threaded through a tiny gap between the stones. For the first time in human history, a camera saw directly into the unexplored interior. A corridor, 9 meters long, 2 meters wide, 2 meters tall, a gabled ceiling of rough-hewn limestone, air that had not moved since the pyramid was sealed, empty, but unmistakably deliberate, unmistakably architectural. The paper appeared in Nature Communications on March 2nd, 2023, and at a press conference held at the foot of the pyramid, the same man who had said zero said this: "This discovery, in my opinion, is the most important discovery of the 21st century." But Hawass was not finished, because behind that reversal was something bigger, something he had believed for decades, and now had the evidence to say out loud. "I really think there is something important underneath that corridor. It could be the real burial chamber of Khufu." His argument was this: the Great Pyramid has no antechambers, no storerooms for burial equipment, no spaces for canopic jars or furniture or offerings. Every other royal pyramid in Egypt has these. Where did Khufu's burial goods go? Hawass's answer: they were never placed in the known chambers, because those chambers were decoys, built deliberately to mislead tomb robbers for eternity. The real burial, if it exists at all, is somewhere else. Somewhere sealed, somewhere that has not been opened in 4,500 years. And then, in November 2025, at a book fair in Sharjah, Hawass made an announcement that sent shockwaves through the Egyptological world. A new 30-meter-long passageway, detected using thermal imaging, 3D mapping, and muon radiography, running deeper into the pyramid's core than anything previously mapped. And at its end, a door, a sealed stone door, that no human being has ever stood on the other side of. This great discovery, Hawass said, will rewrite a chapter in the history of the pharaohs. He promised a formal unveiling in 2026, comparing what might be behind that door to Tutankhamun's tomb. Now, what exactly is behind it? No one knows. And that is perhaps the most remarkable sentence in all of modern archaeology. We have muon tomography, we have AI-assisted 3D mapping, we have ground-penetrating radar and infrared cameras and micro-robots designed to fit through a 1-centimeter hole. And we still do not know. The leading theories divide sharply. Hawass believes the known chambers were architectural misdirection, and that behind the sealed door lies Khufu's actual burial chamber, with his mummy, his canopic jars, his treasures, his mask, untouched, for longer than the entire span of recorded Western history. Mark Lenner of the Ancient Egypt Research Associates suspects the big void serves a structural purpose, like the 5 relieving chambers above the king's chamber. Aidan Dotson of the University of Bristol is blunter still. Or there is zero chance of hidden burial chambers. But Sébastien Procureur of France's CEA ran the simulations and found that the big void sits roughly 10 meters above the Grand Gallery, too high, too far removed to serve any structural function. It is not a support structure. So what is it? The answer may come from something very small, a micro-robot, approximately 1 centimeter in diameter, currently being developed with private funding, designed to be inserted through a drilled hole to enter the big void directly, and a second approach, a robotic blimp, created by French roboticist Jean-Baptiste Mouret, small enough to pass through a 1.5-inch hole, designed to inflate inside the void, fly through it, capture images, then deflate and return. Neither has entered the pyramid yet. But 2026 has been named by multiple researchers as the year that changes. And here's the thing that stays with you, long after you step back from all the science and the politics and the debate. The Great Pyramid has been explored since the year 832. For over 1,200 years, some of the most determined people in human history have entered it, drilled it, blasted it, x-rayed it, scanned it with particles from exploding stars, and it has given up some of its secrets. A corridor here, a void there, a door behind a door, but not the one secret that has driven every single one of those explorers forward. What is at the center of it all? The pyramid was built to be a permanent home for one man's soul. His name is carved into the walls in quarry gang graffiti, but his body has never been found. His sarcophagus sits empty in a room that may or may not have been built to hold him, and somewhere deeper in, sealed behind a door that has not been touched in 46 centuries, something waits. We do not know what it is. We cannot reach it yet. But for the first time in 4,500 years, we know exactly where to look. If you found this as fascinating as I did, like and subscribe, and share your theories in the comments below. What do you think is behind that sealed door?